Hey friends, well, we are 2 weeks into our Do Not Be Afraid sermon series, and in last week's video I introduced to you the Spotify playlist that I have put together called Do Not Be Afraid, and it goes along with our sermon series. And if you watched last week's video, we had a video of our Psalm 100 band playing the song Isaiah 43, or I Am the Lord, Do Not Fear. And that is a song that's going to be playing all throughout our sermon series. And that's also the first song on the Spotify playlist called Do Not Be Afraid. I wanted to go over a few more songs with you in the next few weeks. And so today I want to talk to you about a few of the songs that are on there. And I hope that you've already seen that these songs kind of go along with the sermons and with the scriptures during this sermon series. So one of the songs that is on there, I believe it's maybe the third song on the playlist. It's by a band called American Aquarium, and it's called The World Is on Fire. And discovered this song a couple of years ago, I think the first time we did this sermon series. And I was so struck by some of the imagery in it. Basically, the singer or the character is kind of lamenting the state of the world, how the world is on fire with things that are going on globally and nationally. And yet he continues to have hope. And the chorus says this: the load is heavy and the road is long, and we've only begun to fight. We just can't give in. We just can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and be the light. And I love that imagery because we find ourselves today with a heavy load with whatever's going on in the world or whatever's going on in your own personal life. I think we all are carrying some kind of heavy load. And yet, if we go to Scripture, we see that Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary, and take my yoke upon you, because my yoke and my burden is light." Jesus says, "I won't put anything heavy on you." The world might put heavy things on us, and yet Jesus can help us carry that load. And he says, "Come to me and rest." Jesus also is the one that says, "I am the light of the world," and then at the same time he says, "You, my disciples, are the light of the world as well." And I always liken that to Jesus being the light and us being mirrors that reflect his light out into the world. Another metaphor that I've heard that's pretty beautiful is Jesus is the sun, S-U-N, the sun, and we are the moon. Of course, the moon doesn't have any light of its own. It only reflects the light of the sun, and that's how we can see the moon. And so whichever metaphor or simile you want to choose there, I think it's beautiful imagery. We must go boldly into the darkness, following the light, who is Jesus, and reflecting that light. We can't give in, we can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and reflect the light. So although the road is long and our loads might be heavy, Jesus calls us to continue to follow him. He will lighten our loads. He will walk along with us. We can walk into the darkness and not be afraid. There's a few other songs on there that I want to point out this week, and they really, theme-wise, they go right along with what Pastor Christine preached about this past Sunday, Don't Worry. And of course that comes from Jesus in Matthew's Gospel saying, don't worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear. Look at the birds of the air. Look at the lilies of the field. So basically look at the birds and look at the flowers. God takes care of them, and so God cares more about you even than them, and God will take care of you. And so there's actually 3 songs on the playlist that have this theme. The first is called Sparrow. It's by a group called Branches. If your eye is on the sparrow, if you're worried about the bird, we're talking to God here. Did you get all of my letters? Did you read my troubled words? If your eye is on the sparrow, then I have trust and faith and hope that your eye is on me too, God. And then another song by Damien Suomi and the Minor Prophets called Let My Love. The refrain there is, don't worry, darling, let my love cover you. And there's actually a line in there, why worry, darling, thinking, what will we eat? Why worry, darling, thinking, what will we drink? That comes right from Matthew's Gospel. So listen to that song, it's a fun one. And then one I just heard this past week, a new album that I picked up this past week by John Van Dusen. And this song is called Sparrow and Seed. I just added this to the playlist. Why should we worry, Lord, is kind of the refrain there. As the sparrow and the seed, you will meet our need. Why worry? Do not worry, Jesus says. Do not be afraid. God is with you. So, happy listening, friends. I've got the Spotify playlist link in the comments description section of this video. And keep on listening, and we'll keep on going over some songs. And if I hear some new ones, I will keep adding them to the playlist. Happy listening, friends.